King Midas. There once was a king named Midas who ruled a magical land of roses and sunshine. King Midas was rich beyond imagination, but he was also very selfish and foolish. He never enjoyed the warm sunshine or wonderful flowers of his beautiful kingdom. Instead, King Midas liked to spend his days in a room in the basement of his castle where he kept his gold. Every day, King Midas locked himself in the vault so that he could count his money without anybody bothering him. There was nothing that Midas would rather do than count his riches. His gold made him feel important, and he loved to surround himself with it. Every morning at the crack of dawn, King Midas headed straight to the vault. He stayed with his gold until he went to sleep at night, and even then he dreamed of how to get more. King Midas had a very beautiful daughter named Marigold. She was very different from her father. Marigold did not pay any attention to gold, and she was not at all selfish. Marigold liked to spend her days outdoors. Day after day, Marigold walked happily among the roses in the garden. It was her favorite place. She loved taking care of all the beautiful flowers and watering them so that they would grow to be tall. There was nothing Marigold liked better than smelling the sweet scent of roses and watching the pretty butterflies as they flew about. Marigold was sorry that her father never joined her in the garden. She wished he would leave his gold and come outside to see what a lovely place she had created. She was certain that her father would really enjoy the flowers, especially the beautiful roses, if he ever saw them. One day, Midas was busy counting gold in the vault when a mysterious stranger appeared. "How did you get in here?" asked King Midas. "Well," said the stranger, "I have some magical powers." "My, you certainly have a lot of gold." "Yes," said Midas, "but I could always use more." "I give you the power to turn all that you touch into gold," says the stranger. "Would you like that?" Yes, of course I would. I would like that very much." "Very well," said the stranger. "After the next sunrise, anything you touch will turn to gold." King Midas spent that night wide awake staring through a window in the castle. He could hardly wait for the sun to rise. When dawn's light finally appeared, Midas reached to push away the curtain, and it turned into solid gold. Then Midas grabbed his chair, and it turned gold too. Midas grew very excited with his new magical power. He ran from room to room, touching everything he could. Just like the mysterious stranger had promised, everything turned to gold. Then King Midas rushed from his castle into Marigold's garden. He knew that was his daughter's favorite place. Midas laid his hands on a rose, and it turned from scarlet red to gold. "How delighted Marigold will be," Midas said to himself, "when she finds out I have turned all of her flowers to precious gold." Soon the king's stomach began to rumble. Changing things to gold made him very hungry. Midas returned to the castle and ordered a delicious breakfast for himself. Servants brought plates piled high with the freshest fruit and warmest bread and the tastiest cheese. Normally, King Midas began eating breakfast with a yummy strawberry. Today, he carefully chose the juiciest one. But as soon as he touched it, the strawberry changed to gold. Midas was hungry, but he could not eat. Then King Midas grabbed a goblet of water and raised it to his lips, but the water turned to gold too. Midas became dizzy with thirst and hunger. He wanted to eat, but everything turned to gold. Suddenly, Marigold came into the room crying. She held the gold rose. Marigold sat at the table with her father and sobbed. "Look at this poor rose," she cried. "How could this have happened?" "I made it happen, Marigold," answered King Midas. "I thought you would like to see your flowers turned into beautiful and valuable pieces of gold." "My roses are ruined," exclaimed Marigold. "They no longer smell sweet, they no longer feel like velvet, and they no longer make the butterflies dance. This rose might be gold, but they are no longer valuable to me. They are worthless." Like all fathers, King Midas hated to see his daughter unhappy. He wanted to make Marigold feel better, and without thinking, he rushed over to give her a hug. As soon as he touched her, Marigold turned into solid gold. King Midas was shocked at what he had done to Marigold. He quickly ran from the golden statue that used to be his daughter. He now knew his wish to turn all that he touched to gold had been a curse and not a blessing. Just then, the mysterious stranger returned and asked, "Aren't you pleased with all your gold?" "I was very foolish," King Midas answered. "I don't care about gold anymore. I just want my daughter back." Please, save her and you can have all of my gold." "I don't want your gold, Midas. I just want to teach you a lesson. To get your daughter back, simply go to the river beyond the rose garden. Dive into its waters and bring back enough water to sprinkle over all the things you have turned to gold. Then they will return to normal." At once, King Midas called out to all the servants in the castle, "Gather every pail, bucket, bowl, and pitcher you can find. Then follow me to the river beyond the rose garden. I need your help." Midas leaped into the cold rushing water of the river, and it instantly began to turn gold yellow. Midas watched as the golden layer fell to the bottom of the river. King Midas and his servants filled all the bowls with water and returned to the castle. King Midas went straight to the dining hall and splashed water over every object. When Midas saw Marigold change from gold to his normal self, his heart filled with joy. King Midas was very thankful and relieved to have his daughter back. Together, he and Marigold went outside and changed all the gold flowers to beautiful red roses. The mysterious stranger had taught Midas a very valuable lesson. There are more important things in life than gold. From that day on, King Midas was happier than he had ever been before. He no longer spent his days locked away in the vault all by himself. Instead, King Midas shared time with Marigold in the garden. He loved the time outdoors. He cared little for gold and riches, and he saw the true beauty of flowers, butterflies, and of his most valuable treasure, Marigold. The only gold that King Midas cared for now was the golden sunshine. The end.